I want to talk for a second about the bystander effect. It's something that I've been thinking about that I think is a great analogy for what's going on right now, specifically with all of the social unrest that's happening in America and all over the world. And I think it's a great way to talk about what's going on right now and the response that a lot of people are having to issues that are being brought up by protesters and specific events that have been heavily recorded and shown to us from phone footage and other footage that's out there online. The bystander effect, or bystander apathy, is a social, psychological theory that states that individuals are less likely to offer help to a victim when there's other people present. The greater number of bystanders, the less likely it is for one of them to help. The best way to think about this is, say that there's a person that's collapsed in the middle of a sidewalk or something like that, and a group of people have gathered around them. Each individual in that group of people is likely to assume that, hey, somebody else is seeing this and they're going to call 911, so I don't have to do it myself. But the problem is that everybody in the group is thinking that, and therefore 911 doesn't get called. And that happens quite often. There's quite a few stories that I will list down below, and I'll list the description of this theory down below too so you can check it out. But this does happen, and it's something that they train medical professionals or people responding to specific events to look out for. They specifically say, hey, if you're responding to somebody and you're taking charge of the moment or whatever's going on, point to somebody specific in the crowd and say, hey, you call 911. Because if somebody doesn't do that, there's a fair chance that 911 won't get called, and the life-saving medication or whatever the person needs will not arrive in time to save them. And what I think I see throughout a lot of my own lifetime and a lot of the lifetimes of the people I know is this specific effect, but played out in a different situation. There's a lot of people that see an issue in the world, and they see it and they recognize it and they know that something's wrong. They see the 400 years of slavery, they see the years of the Jim Crow laws and the recent history of desegregation and stuff like that, and say, well, hey, I understand that this is a problem. I understand that all of that stuff was bad and it was never good in the first place, and I get it. But a lot of those same people end up saying, well, hey, I don't have much influence. I'm not directly related to groups that are going to be able to help. And there's other people out there that understand these problems too, so they're probably going to respond and help, so I don't have to myself. And I think this is the exact problem of what's going on right now. There's a lot of people out there that see an issue and know an issue's happening, but instead of doing something themselves, think that everybody else is going to respond to that issue and they don't do it themselves. I'm literally just a gaming YouTuber. I make some videos on tech and sociology and stuff like that. I'm not the perfect person to talk on this stuff. I don't have the best stories. I don't have the best experience, but I have talked to many people, my friends, a lot of the people that I know, and listened to their stories and what they've gone through. I've done research. I've spent time online trying to understand other people's perspectives because I see the issue and I know that something's happening. And I think it's really important not to get distracted by people that are piggybacking this current movement, this current protest, and forget about the central cause and the central core of what's going on, that there's a problem that needs to be addressed, that needs to be solved, and the longer that we sit around and say, well, hey, somebody else is going to fix the problem, the longer that problem's actually not going to get solved. I really don't want to be a bystander in this, and I really don't want to get distracted with the morals of everything that people are using to argue against what's going on. I want to stay focused on what's happening right now and stick to the core belief that no person should die just because of the color of their skin, and no person should be unjustly treated because of the color of their skin. And again, I know this isn't something that you're used to seeing from my channel, but what I would say and what I would encourage you is that if you've seen this issue, if you know that something's wrong, don't get distracted by the looting, by all this other stuff that people are using to try to discredit what's going on right now. Remind yourself of the central core of the problem that's going on right now, that Black communities have been unjustly discriminated against in the past, and that's in the history books. And that spirit and the problems that started back then are still around today and are still unfairly impacting people of color in the United States and other places in the world. Even if you're not the perfect person to help with the problem, you can do something. You can listen to people's stories, be there to help them, offer shelter, offer solace during times like this, and support them, be there for them. You can help and you can be there for people, even if it seems like you're powerless or there's nothing that you can do. For me personally, I do feel a little helpless with what's going on right now. It doesn't feel like I am ever making the correct response, that I'm helping in any way. But I want to do what I can, and I don't have a large platform. I don't have hundreds of thousands of people that I can reach out to, but I want to try to do my part, and I want to try to be the best person that I can be. Because about 4 years ago, I sat down with the goal to understand other people and to make a difference in people's lives. And to do that, I've tried to learn and understand people from all different cultures and all different backgrounds and all different religions so that I can understand how to best help them and care for them in their times of need. And although that's something that I'm never going to try to force other people to do, I definitely encourage you that if you are somebody that wants to help people and you want to make a difference, don't just let this unrest and what's going on right now be something that you forget about or try to ignore. Deal with the hard questions, deal with the hard feelings, and look at the core of what's going on and see if there's anything that you can do as a person to help out right now or in the future when it comes to supporting people that are being unjustly targeted by systems or unjustly targeted by specific groups of people or anything like that. That's all I've got for this video. I'll see you in the next one.